Hi, I'm Tim Conway, and I'm running for President of the United States. Recently, we've heard a lot about the coming problems with the Social Security program. Basically, the way Social Security is structured, it means that there's going to be a shortfall in funding in the not too distant future. Social Security started out as a government program in the 1930s because of severe economic problems. Like many government programs, there was not very much long-term thinking in the development of it. It was something that was an immediate cure for a problem, and probably something that the government shouldn't have gotten involved in the first place. Be that as it may, the Social Security program is not a true retirement program. The money that you pay into Social Security is not set aside for an account for you to draw from when you retire. The money that you pay into Social Security is used to pay the people who are currently receiving Social Security benefits. It's called a pay-as-you-go program. The coming problem is based largely on the fact that the baby boomer generation, which is now in retirement and entering retirement, is a much larger population than the couple of generations that follow it. The workers now in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are going to be paying the retirement benefits through Social Security for the people who are currently retired. Now, this program needs to be replaced with a private retirement investment program, but it can't happen all at once. It has to be planned out carefully for a long-term transition. This is something the government is terrible at, but nonetheless, it's the only real solution to what we're talking about. There have been attempts to try to get people to move more toward private retirement accounts, but there have been a lot of problems along those lines as well. Some retirement accounts, union or other worker retirement accounts through their companies, have gone bust due to mismanagement or actual criminal activity. The 401k plan is a good idea, except that many companies don't offer 401k. It has to be offered through the company. It's not something the employees necessarily can do. And the 401k plan, you can choose whether to be in a high risk or medium risk or low risk investment policy or some mix of those. But it's the financial management firm's choice then to place those dollars into what they consider a high, low, and medium risk investments. You don't actually choose where the money eventually goes for the investment plan. There are also individual retirement arrangements called IRAs. The most common is one in which money that you put into an IRA, this is an individual account that you manage more so than you would a 401k plan. The money is invested before you pay taxes on it. What that means, though, is that eventually, when you try to take that money out, the first thing you're going to have to do is pay state and federal and even local taxes on it, depending on where you live. The other type of IRA is the Roth IRA, which is an investment of money after you've paid taxes. It is basically after your tax deduction from your payroll, then out of the money left over, you invest that in a Roth IRA. That means that when you start to take funds out of that, you don't have to pay taxes on the basic investment, although depending on the tax scheme at the time, you might have to pay for any gains that you've made on your investment. What I'm proposing, and I'm not a financial master, but I have been looking at various proposals from various good sources of information, and I would propose that starting right away, people in the 16 to 26-year-old category be mandated to invest a portion of their after-tax income into an individual retirement account that they can control. This would replace their having a Social Security deduction. The people in the 27 to 38-year-old category would make some after-tax donation to an IRA while still paying a percentage of their income, but a lower percentage, into the Social Security fund. This would take on a period of about 20 years so that we can continue to supply funds for those people who are depending on Social Security for their income. The 38 to 50-year-old group, we would do an even split on the IRA and the Social Security at the beginning, and over the period of time from 38 to 50, that split with the percentages would change so that you would have a more going into personal investment and less into Social Security as we wean people off of it. The current 50 to 65 group would continue paying Social Security with the idea that they would have some kind of Social Security benefits. Any after-tax investment in an IRA would be encouraged, but would not be forced. So over the period of 20 years, which in political terms is several lifetimes, we could change the way people invest in toward their retirement. The tough part is making sure that we have enough funds along the way, and as part of that, the federal government should be setting aside tax dollars. Now, I'm Tim Conaway. I'm running for President of the United States, and you've probably heard me say that I want to reduce the size of federal government, which reduces the expense of federal government. And by doing that, by cutting out certain expenses during this 20-year transition period, some of those savings in tax dollars could be assigned to a fund to support Social Security until we have weaned the nation off of that. Again, this is, I'm speaking generally here because the actual details of how we make this work will have to be worked out, and there will be compromises because this would all have to go through the legislature. It can't be enacted to executive order or some of the other tricks that current and recent presidents have used to try to make law when it's not within their power. I'm Tim Conaway. I'm running for President of the United States, and I believe that the less dependent that citizens are on a government, then the more control citizens have over the government. Even though government uses your money to do things, it never does anything for the citizens without there being some kind of requirement, regulation, payback that the government imposes as part of that funding. So let's reduce our dependence on government, and let's take control of our own retirement. Let's put government in a service role instead of a controlling role. Tim Conaway, I'm running for President of the United States, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.